hurricane in a room and just said, brace yourselves.
Yep. That's kind of how Bar Brothers did it at a hotel cafe the other night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, nobody went into the Jane's Addiction show like, I really hope, I love Oceanside. Like, I love no one pulls you from your hole like a tooth aching a jawbone. Like, that's a neat... No, people pretty much just walk in. Woo!
Exactly.
And then they got to go on stage, and they just dominated us. They wouldn't let us up. It was like a good bullying.
Right, exactly. Right, a positive bully.
And I remember the lights went down on that show, and it reminded me of Jim Brewer's Metallica bit. Like, hey, how's everybody doing? Too good, asshole. You're just on the floor. Like, it was a fight for your life.
Yeah. That's amazing, dude.
Talking about the Beatles. Oh, you performed at the United Nations.
I did.
For Bishop Tutu.
Twice, actually.
Twice?
I performed for the 2 different events for the UN. The first was
You've been to the UN more than North Korea. I mean, that's fucking amazing. You've been to the UN more than Palestine. No, that's not true. It's North Korea. Go with your gut, JJ. You were on stage at the United Nations with Paul Simon, Toto, the John Mayer Band. At any point on stage, did you think, what's Toto doing here?
No. It was really like...
Come on. That sticks out like a sore thumb. Because if Toto wasn't there, it's Paul Simon, you, and John Mayer's band, and everybody goes, hey, this Keaton Simon, he's in here, he's doing his thing. But then you get Toto, it's like an extra pitch you got to worry about.
I got another one for you.
My wife wanted to know what Toto, if you had to pick one Toto.
Yeah.
Toto the dog, Toto the band, or Toto the line of toilets where the seats don't slam down, they come down gently by themselves? You got to pick one.
That's amazing.
Pick one.
That's amazing. I pick one. I
picked the toilet.
You picked the toilet.
Yeah, because when you get up and when you go to put the seat down, it doesn't just go slam.
No,
you just tilt it a little, and it just kind of eases itself down. But then you forget, and you go to someone else's house, and you just fucking slam that shit down. They're like, "What are you doing in there?"
What?
You're like, you know what I'm not doing? Using a Toto toilet.
Right.
What's this Kohler business I'm peeing into?
Kohler.
So you can't.
Have you been to Germany? Have you been in Germany?
No.
Every fucking toilet's different. Every single toilet. I was on tour in Germany, and every toilet.
Are they different so much that like a row of urinals, each one's different from the one next to it?
No, like the toilets themselves, not the urinals. Like, but I think
so
within each bathroom they're consistent.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think
so. Is it independently contracted?
Yes.
There's no monopoly on toilets in Germany.
There is no monopoly.
Boy, those Germans really know how to get their stuff together.
They do.
They can rally.
What were we going to ask about Beatles? Because I love talking about.
Go ahead. Do you have to shit before you go on stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Gig butt.
What, gig butt? Gig butt. Russell Brand was on Rachel Ray or something. He was explaining it like, this adrenal flush.
Yeah.
This sort of before, evacuate all of me. And then like his friends go, no, you just have to take a shit before you go on stage.
I'm showing you a picture of, because Laura and I were Katy Perry and Russell Brand for Halloween.
I'd like to hear about it.
The thing is, I dressed up as Russell Brand, and I decided from here on out I'm going to start dressing like Russell Brand. Basically,
I was
like,
choice.
I thought I looked so good.
My wife's
here. Look,
my mother-in-law said the Beatles are dying in order of coolness.
Oh, totally.
You look exactly like Russell Brand. Did you put this up on Twitter?
Yeah. I'll put it up again.
At Keaton Simons.
Yeah.
1M.
Yes, 1M. Oh, here. I'll find you the one of me and Laura.
This is fascinating radio, looking at photos. Where to look at all the hot chicks flowing in here, all the Hooters girls we have. Let me see. No, that's okay. Nick, wow, that's great, Laura. Nick said...
Laura had the unfortunate thing of having to wear a blue wig and cupcake titties, but...
What's unfortunate about... Unfortunate for who?
No.
For whom? Excuse me. So... The Beatles are dying in order of coolness, which means Ringo's going to live to be 114. Is that accurate?
Yes.
That's
all I'm going to say. I'm sure he's cool as shit.
He takes I don't think so. I think he's a raging cocksucker.
You think he's a cocksucker?
Something about him, you go, ugh, like he must be insufferable to be around.
I don't know.
Whereas like Paul
I always get the sense
is on the other end of the spectrum where you go, whatever I need to do in my life, if I could just do it with Paul next to me.
No, but here's the thing. For me, when I see that, it's like when you meet somebody who's like, I had the perfect family and the perfect happy home life. You know they're the most fucked up person on earth. I always imagine Ringo being just like so incredibly grateful to have been in the Beatles that he's just like, I don't know how I'm getting away with this, but here goes, and I love my life. And Paul is secretly a schmuck. That's what I think.
I don't think so at all. But Ringo, the thing about Ringo is everyone, musicians will say like he's a shitty drummer. He's
not,
impeccable.
Actually. He's amazing.
As far as keeping time, like he may not do drum rolls and fucking Tommy Lee roller coaster skits.
No.
But as far as if you just like Abbey Road start to finish, you go, that was a lot of work. He defined
a style. You know what I mean? Really.
What was the style?
He defined this kind of like, that kind of big, broad, feels like simple, but big broad, like, you know, that's Ringo. I don't know. Drummer's going to kill me for saying that probably, but I don't know. It's just, to me, and also the tone, I mean, the tone of those drums, and that has a lot to do with, you know, with George Martin and with all the other guys, but dude.
Probably the greatest producer to ever live, right?
Yeah, unbelievable.
They were working on like an 8-track.
The snare sound, it's unbelievable. Those snare sounds on Ringo's snares, it's just like, those are the sounds that when I'm making records, I'm like, I want it to sound like that.
Paul, I think, everyone always likes John the most.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Beatle?
I love John, but I also love George a lot.
Yeah, I was going to guess you was a George guy.
Yeah.
I like when the Beatles went to visit Elvis.
Yeah.
And it was two polar opposites of drugs. Because Elvis's guys were all like fucking sped out.
Yeah.
They were all just speeding their balls off.
That's right.
And like doing crystal meth and coke and pills. And all the Beatles wanted to do was just smoke pot.
Yeah.
And the Memphis Mafia's like, what's this marijuana y'all hippie smoking?
Yeah.
And like George actually left and was walking around Graceland. I was in search for some reefers.
I love it. His fight with Paul. I just did my record with Michael Blue, who's amazing and he's British, and he does the most amazing Beatles, much better than me. But he does each one of them individually perfectly. But he always did this thing, and they show it's in Let It Be, and then it's in the new George Harrison documentary thing where it's Paul's trying to tell him, you know, Paul's kind of micromanaging, and George says, he's like, listen, I'll play if you want me to play, and I won't play at all if you don't want me to play. Whatever it is, Paul, that would please you, I'll do it. It's just so passive aggressive.
You know, he left the band twice.
Of course.
Clapton was on his way over.
Oh, yeah.
And it was both times. And here's the thing where I guess my favorite Beatle is Paul, because Paul came up with the concept albums of Sgt. Pepper's and the Magical Mystery Tour. And after, which one was first? Sgt. Pepper's.
Sgt. Pepper's was first.
Sgt. Pepper's was first, and then he's like, "This is us. We're going to be playing another band. We're going to be Sgt. Pepper's, but it's going to be us playing Sgt. Pepper's song." And he had to explain it to like a guys that like John's on acid,
right?
Like we know that now that John woke up and did tabs of acid, and then George just baked out of his face, and he just wants to play. And like, this is fucking stupid. I'm out of here. Yeah. And then when that was over, we're all going to go on a Magical Mysteries tour.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. What? Underrated bassist, certainly.
Oh, without a doubt, man.
Like, when you listen to...
one of the most lyrical bassists.
You Never Give Me Your Money. Oh, I've never heard a bass go that high or that low.
Mm-hmm.
Yoko, thoughts? Good, bad, diabolical, great?
I don't know. I grew up...
Vedder and Bono love her.
Say again?
Vedder.
Oh, Vedder or
and Bono. They love her. But I think that's just because...
And Bono both love her.
Like, that's their, like, bridge to John.
Sure. That's probably what it is. That's as close as they're going to get.
But as people like you and I that won't meet her...
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I really don't know. I think it's a combination of things. I think definitely... I blame John more for kind of just... buying all the way into all that shit. You know what I mean? He could always have said to her, like, look, today I'm just going to go in by myself.
We really don't need you to do back vocals.
Right, exactly.
On Abbey Road.
Yeah.
I heard on the Spitz, S-P-I-T-Z, the tome he wrote, The Beatles, it's called. It's like 1,600 pages.
Yeah.
She was in a hospital bed because she had a miscarriage, I think.
Oh, boy.
And they wheeled in her hospital bed into Apple Studios, and they hung a microphone from the ceiling so she could contribute. Like, if you're Paul and George, Ringo's not going to fucking complain. Right. But if you're those other two guys, like, no wonder we didn't fucking keep going.
Of course.
Because she's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's too bizarre. And there's no other person like her in music history, is there?
Well, not so publicized, but she created a stigma for like every girlfriend of every musician of all time. That the first thing that happens when your girlfriend comes over is everybody goes,
"Oh, Yoko's here."
Yeah. Did you see that Flight of the Conchords?
No.
You ever watch Flight of the Conchords?
But when you watch Rock and Roll Circus,
amazing.
She's like an actual fool. When she's doing that weird song and just screaming like a moron.
Yeah.
And you cut away to John, and he's like, "Yeah, that's my lady, man. Mm-hmm. Shit's tight."
John was a very, very interesting, fucked up dude, you know?
Martin Mull did a guest star on Gary Unmarried, and he was friends with John Lennon. And he said they were doing like tons of drugs in a hotel room in New York. John called and said, we want to come over. And they all went over. And so it's John Lennon, everyone's like chopping lines and smoking joints. Mm-hmm. And Lawrence Welk came on. And John just sat Indian style, like in a trance, watching the Lawrence Welk show. And to us, it's like this goofy, old, white, stupid thing in the world. But to a kid from England, it's like this, it's almost like fairy tale-ish, I guess. And then when it was all over, they turned the TV off. John stood up, put his coat on to leave, and he pointed back to the TV and he goes, "He's got a great gig." Wow. Like, he couldn't believe how good Lawrence Welk had it. Like, you're in the fucking Beatles.
I know. We like are the Beatles.
But Lawrence Welk got to go. And now here's Laura and Keaton dancing.
Right.
And you guys go out and do your bizarre dance.
Yeah.
And he goes, "We'll be right back with more Colgate dancing."
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. You know, my mom says that kind of stuff a lot too. She's been in the business for her entire life, you know, her whole family and everything. And every now and then she's just like, she'll say, "My favorite job of all time was when I worked in a book bindery." You know, where it was just like...
It makes perfect sense to me.
Simple, no bullshit. I knew exactly what I was supposed to do, and I was able to do it well. You know, and it was like, I worked from this time to this time, and just, you know...
She always says her dream job would be a brick mason.
Right.
Like, you make a wall, you're done,
there you go.
move on to the next wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes perfect sense. So Toto you like, REO Speedwagon is great, and I should bite my tongue.
No. You can say whatever you want.
We're missing one guitarist.
I hope we got Train.
We got. Oh no, you got Joe Pass, Wes Montgomery, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Hendrix, and Link Chamberlain. What's your favorite quality in a friend?
My favorite quality in a friend is honestly independence, autonomy. My favorite quality, my favorite friends in the world are the ones where the friendship requires no upkeep. There's no obligation. It's just when you do your thing, I do my thing. When we come into each other's lives, it's like no time has passed.
That's a very show business.
It is.
Friendship, a very transient. We're all itinerant preachers, as my wife would tell me. And you know, you don't see a guy for a year and a half, and then you see him, and you just like the conversation you're having continues.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the kind of shallow, you know.
I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
All my friends are on the road right now.
Right, totally, exactly, and it's the
George out to the game. Same
thing. I've got a couple of friends who who I've known since I was 12 years old. Who I haven't seen them. I haven't talked to them in 2 years. Next time I see them, it's gonna be like no time has passed. It's just, absolutely nothing is, degrades from the friendship from distance and time.
Have you ever written a song that it confounded you why it was not working? And conversely, have you written a song that you thought, this is so stupid, why does everybody like it so much? Like Todd Rundgren won't play... What?
That one, I've done that one where it's like, why does everybody love this song
like
so
Todd
much?
Rundgren won't play Bang on the Drum all day.
Right.
And that's all anybody goes to a Todd Rundgren concert for because they don't realize he's not going to play it.
That guy's smart as hell, dude.
Yeah, but not smart enough to play Bang on the Drum all day and make people happy so they come again.
Sure. But he doesn't have to. He's got plenty.
Is there a song that I heard about The Edge writing Where the Streets Have No Name.
Yeah.
It took like 2 years. And I don't know the specifics. You would know it more than me. But there's some odd combination of time that blends together a quarter of the way through from the Edge's opening to Bono coming in, and they were confounded by this.
Oh, there's a time signature change there?
Yes.
Oh.
And I don't know if it's still there, but when he originally
wrote
wrote it, it was there.
Right.
And it wasn't until 15 years later, during an interview, where the Edge goes, these guys thought that I was trying to break up the band. And they all stopped, like Bono and Larry and Adam all go, wait, you weren't? Like, for 15 years,
wow.
They thought he was a fucking maniac. Like, I'm going to make you learn this, and we can't continue. And he goes, no, I just